This your boy OG Gangsta, man. Straight out of Compton, Santana Block, Compton Crip. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's funny because I know Gangster is laughing at, he said, we spend our money with everybody but us. And if you look at when he said that a Mexican ice cream truck pop up in the video. Now, when I was growing up, we had a lot of blacks that owned the ice cream stands. They had the Dipsy Doodoo. They had you buy you know they used to sell fish, onions, bell peppers, and all that stuff on the streets, door to door. They had donuts, and I see now. But you know what's so crazy about uh, the story this gangster is saying? That this stuff is true. I sat back today and watched a lot of his videos, and I looked at this particular one. I wanted to reenact on this one, but we the only people in the United States that let everybody else come in our community and make money. They come in 8 and leave at 5. Do you know that with this particular thing that they doing, if just say for instance, me and you try to go to Chinatown and get a business, they're not going to support us. They don't even pay taxes in our community, but they selling the same thing we could be selling. But that's one thing I like about being into uh, the art guy, being into the LA scene, because if when I was in prison and they had stores in each unit, if the only reason the Mexicans can shop at our store, if they run out of their store, then they can come to our store. But every unit have three, four stores, and then they have one main store. But at the end of the day, that's how we have to start doing on the street. We're gonna have to start telling guys that's from the hood, stop shopping at them stores. And then if you stop shopping in them stores, and if you stop stopping there 1 year, that store closed down because ain't nobody buying that stuff but us. And they got it marked up high, and they charge us a lot of money for the little stuff that they have in the store. And that's why we need to start going back and just open up a garage or open up some kind of little small store so we can shut these stores down and be able to open them up 2, 3 years later, the same store, but with black owned.
Saying in my former life, at the end of the day, though, I'm gonna always be from where I'm from. I'm always be a Compton Crip, Santana. But I'm just not with the bullshit no more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we was all bamboozled at one time. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't know. And I'm second generation, so I'm right up under the homies that started this shit. And so we was all doing the same thing, and they didn't know either. So it was, we just followed what the big homies did.
All right, I got a question for you about second generation. Second generation Crip, Compton Crip, China.
Second generation Crip, period. You know what I'm saying? Anything tripping started in 69. You know what I'm saying? I started in 60. Well, when I started in 73, we was called baby Crips. Wasn't none of this OG, BG, none of that. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We were just considered baby Crips.
One more question about that. So Honcho say he was a baby Crip. So did the baby Crips last a long generation? Or do you think that was their class of the Crips and y'all were just young, so they called you a baby Crip?
No, because
I would like to intervene on that because I heard K-Max say that we were baby Crips and they was baby Crips and everything. I don't care what organization, what neighborhood, whatever you do, it's always going to be older, younger. And a lot of times the younger guys, they have more testosterone. They have more energy to actually do other things. Because I remember back in the days when the big homies, they used to put us through the windows of people's houses because they couldn't fit in them windows. And then a lot of times they come home with these prison stories, and you be like, man, we should just sit down, and the homie can just hold a whole audience for hours just talking about State Prison, BGF, Soledad, Quinn, Folsom, Tracy. I mean, we used to just sit there and listen to them, and they had a swagger. They had a way to talk about, how they was fighting the Mexicans, how they was fighting the BGFs, how the Bay Area, all the prisons in the Bay, and how that we had to survive, and how they didn't want to let Raymond Washington, be a part of the prison system. But it was so many guys from LA that they had to give us a part because I know that a lot of times I see Gangster talking, and I've been in 4800 with Gangster, and I done been in Victorville with Gangster. And I see his evolution. I see that he done got in there and read a lot of books because sometimes, man, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same old, the homies doing this, the homies fighting that, the homies fighting. And, I never really wanted to be a part of so much chaos, so much the other side, wanting to fight and wanted to do this. I always wanted to make money. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to be able to have money, have nice clothes, because I didn't have all that when I was in high school.
Honcho, which Honcho? Big Honcho or Baby? Yeah, Baby Head. Honcho was original Crip. You know what I'm saying? We was up under him.
But he claimed he was a baby Crip.
I don't know how that came into effect, because that's my big homie. That's one of my big homies. You know what I'm saying? But it could have had. I know in 73 we was saying Baby Crip. You know what I'm saying? I know it started in 69. So I don't exactly.
Yeah, I was want to talk about when you call somebody your big homie sometimes. I have been noticing that the age difference is maybe 2-3 years. I remember a few years ago, a lot of people didn't know I was 60 years old. So when I asked the homies or the guys that I looked up to, the ones that was already been to YA, already been to Youth Authority, already have been to all of these places before I came off the porch, I consider those dudes my big homies. Now, when I got older, when I asked them how old they are, they be like, man, I'm 62, I'm 63, I'm 60 years old. So if they only 2-3 years older than me, I ain't met too many that's 20, 25 years older than me. The ones I met is around my age, but a little bit older, but they acted older, and they had went to the prison. They had did a lot of things. But now I see when we say Honcho is homie, big homie, I know Gangsta got to be around his 60s. So if Honcho's 65 or something like that, he's only 3-4 years older than him.
When he started, but I know he started before we started. So I consider, even if you didn't start in 69, if you started in 70, 71, you still OG. You know what I'm saying? You still OG.
All right, let's go. I recently did an interview about Bullet. Anything you want to fill in or respond to, or tell us some more information about
Bullet was a homie. You know what I'm saying? And Bullet was a homie that he loved dogs for one. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you know what I'm saying, what we was all gangsters, you know what I'm saying, but we was still feeling ourselves out. You know what I'm saying? What none of us had came to, you know what I'm saying, being full-fledged yet. You know, and like Bullet started Santana Hustlers. You know, it was like 6 or 7 of them. The only ones that was.
What do he mean by saying full-fledged yet? I remember when we was trying to pick out names to call ourselves in the Crips in neighborhoods, because a lot of times a guy would say he a hustler, and then if you a black man in Los Angeles or wherever you is, and you hanging out in these neighborhoods, you selling drugs, you going to jail. I mean, everybody I knew. I didn't go to jail early because I was into sports. And when I played sports, I played up at Bethune Park. I played at Roosevelt Park. I played at Will Rogers Park. And they always had deputies over these parks. So you knew all the deputies because there was a lot of blacks and Latino police officers. I remember Carradine and all these guys. But when you talk about, full-fledged, when do people really become full-fledged? A lot of times you pick up a name. I remember I started off calling myself maybe Ron, Lil Ron, and then Baby Ron, because I remember back in the days everybody was calling themselves Sir Wayne and Sir Charles and Sir this. Then back in the days that the Bloods started using those names, then the Crips started using Loke, or either the Bloods was using G. And I remember when we was trying to identify ourselves with these gang names, because a lot of guys wanted to having these tough names, because when you look in the mafia, you can't be going by Statusberg and or these Jew names. So they start calling themselves Dutch Schultz, Legs Diamonds. And I remember that a lot of these names trickled down to us, because I remember when the homies was a lot of Capones and a lot of things like that. Because I remember I got the homie Rat Capone, Biggie from A-Tray Gangsta. But I remember these guys was everybody, because I remember the homie Blue was trying to find a name, and a lot of times dudes would use their first name, or they would use their last name, or they would use, they was trying to get a name to identify. Because a lot of times when you get a name, then that name, because I remember dudes was using like Maniac and Cognac and stuff like that, and everybody can't have the same name. Then now you see a lot of these guys have 1, 2, 3 infants and all this under their name. But we was wanted to identify with a name that would fit, a name that would take us to the rest of our lives. Because I remember dudes like, man, I remember they used to call dude Tank, or they used to call him Little Flux or something like that. Now they call him Little Flux, but I remember when it was Tank,
Crips was bullet and strawberries. The rest of them in gang bang, like Alan Deed and Uncle Al. They didn't gang bang. Bullet and strawberry was the only ones that was gang bang. When Bullet got killed, you know what I'm saying? His brother Bay Rob, you know what I'm saying, bro? He brought the idea to us, you know what I'm saying, for us and Oaks Park and Santana to come together. You know what I'm saying? Oaks Park and Midtown come together to form Santana. You know what I'm saying? So they had to be, it went through Duck, OG Duck, you know what I'm saying, Donald Norwood from Oaks Park, Turtle, you know what I'm saying, and some more of the big homies and shit. They all came together and got together, and we was young still, so we was in the background. We was Midtown Crips, you know what I'm saying? This was in 1978. You know what I'm saying? I think I was in junior high school. So they came together and decided they wanted, in Bullet's honor, you know what I'm saying, come together, you know what I'm saying, and form Santana. You know what I'm saying? Because like on this side of Rosecrans, where I'm at, where we at Wilson Park, we was Midtown Crips. But on the other side of Rosecrans, there's Oaks Park Businessman Crips. You know what I'm saying? But we all got along. You know what I'm saying? We all kicked it. Every now and then
that kind of like happened in our neighborhood when I first kind of like moved over there. They had the Shag Boys. They had the 7-4 guys on 74th. They had the 73rd guys. They had the guys down there by the park, and we had the 6th Street boys. A lot of times, man, we always was looking for a hangout, and a lot of times, dudes would hang out at your house, or dudes would hang out at different people's houses, and the age groups, you would hang into the age group you would hang. But some of y'all would be at the parking lot, or maybe the church parking lot, sitting on the church parking lot wall, or gambling and different things like that around the corner. But we always was looking for somewhere to hang. Then a lot of times the guys would be hanging at the house when they like dude mother and I be out in the backyard, and dudes would just be like, man, I ain't really gotta be courted in, or I ain't really gotta be get all the way in because they hang at my house. I know all the guys that's in the neighborhood that's doing crazy stuff. They hang at my house, so they eat there. Sometimes my mama would take one or two of them in, and then next thing you know, you got a 4, 5 of them there. But a lot of times the community, we would always be at each other's house eating. We would buy some beer and meet over there. We'd be over there or some of the house drinking or work or working out. They had weights at the house, and that's how we became familiar with a lot of each other. And we hung with each other. Then dudes from other streets would come over there because when we started going to school, everybody was like, we always wanted to get a low rider. We always wanted to get some muscles and all that. But a lot of us went to YA and TS and Scotch Gutter and all these juvenile halls to get big. And that's how a lot of guys got big and came back to the hood.
You might see somebody might have a little fight or something, but it wasn't never no gunplay. You know what I'm saying? It was always, to me, it was love always. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to say that they didn't kick it with us or something like that, you know what I'm saying? That was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I was there.
I noticed how Gangsta explaining to how these little small fires start. When you look at the geographical areas into our communities, it seems like the set that's right next to your set, you usually beef with them. I don't know how that started. I don't know exactly what's that about. But if you look at the areas and you look at who's beefing with each other, majority of the time they right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? They real close in that proximity. And now I see that if you look all over the United States, all over California, the gang that's right next to them, when they was just starting to start their gang, they got into it with the bigger gang or the gang right next to it. You can look all over the city and tell. You can see it. I mean, in every hood, they beef with the hood right next to them because they don't really have time to beef with the hoods across the city because they don't see them. They don't be around them. But I don't know if the liquor, I don't know what it is, but they always have some kind of way of start beefing with the hood right next to their hood.
Also, I wasn't in the house peeking out the window. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, that was some bullshit, man. But to me, by Santana, I always say, see, to me, homie, it's Santana enough.
I was going to turn 26 and lose my mom's coverage, so I need to find my own plan. For $4.
You gonna not think back about Midtown. You see, I never bring up Midtown unless asked about it. You got a lot of these motherfuckers out there be hollering, no, Oaks Park, this. Nigga, for say that. Either you're the block or you're not. You're Santana or you're not. But once Midtown turned Santana, it wasn't no more Midtown for me, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's Santana till I die. Only way you won't even hear me saying Midtown now is because we in the interview. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in it. It's all about the block. You know what I'm saying? So once Midtown and Oaks Park, once we became Santana, it was a wrap. And I feel, homie, that by us coming together, two different neighborhoods and forming one, and it was all in the name of Bullet. We only did this because of Bullet, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most thing you can't.
That's kind of like happened in our neighborhood. A lot of us was from little small sections of the hood. Then the majority of us all turned 7-6 because I lived down on the other side of Florence, and me and Blue and a few other guys. But a lot of times when you go to jail, you hang with the guys that you from your neighborhood that you went to junior high, elementary school, and high school, and that's how 7-6 then got so big because they was already known for doing a lot of things in the neighborhood, and it's just that we all started hanging out and being one hood because we got the ones over there by Compton Avenue in the 80s. Then we got the ones right there in the 70s. And then we got some over there in the 60s. But we all is just one now. And sometimes I be running across people in the jail, and they might say, "Hey man, you know such and such claims 7-6." You be like, "Who?" "Oh, okay, yeah, that's the homie." But you know he lived on the other side, or he lived on the other side, he lived on the other side. But that's still the homie. But we all came together, or we all got together, or we all, when dudes get out of jail that from the neighborhood that hung with other homies in the neighborhood, we would always, come together and eat and, go over. A lot of times we used to be over there on 71st over Dee Dee Wagner house. And that's where we used to be, because I remember when the Shack Boys was kind of big, then they turned East Coast. 7-6 Shack Boys, they turned 7-6 East Coast.
You can't get no more love or respect than that, homie. For motherfuckers to change their hood's name for something that you wanted, you know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, and I don't know why she think that his sister Stacy think that somebody disrespecting Bullet, say she mad because the hood day ain't on Bullet birthday. Well, goddamn, the whole fucking hood is out named after him. You know what I'm saying? And our hood day, 722, you know what I'm saying? That mean SBC. If you look at any phone and you see them letters on there, that 722 mean SBC. That's where we got 722 from, for the initials of the neighborhood. Because at the end of the day, if I went to jail in 2001, when I went to the feds, it wasn't no fucking we wasn't no hood days. All this shit is new to me, you know what I'm saying?
You know what's so funny? Gangster, he talk a lot of positive things, a lot of things that when you really listen to Gangster, I did time with Gangster before in 4800, and he always was a cool dude. He always real mannered and everything, a real good dude. And when you listen to him and you take time to listen to Gangster, he makes a lot of sense, because I remember, man, when we used to go to the parties over there in Harlem hood. I think Harlem was one of the first hoods that had hood days, a hood day. Because we used to go over to Harlem. They used to have parties over there, and you had to pay $1 to get in. But it was just like hood day. And all the time that I went over there and experienced the hood day atmosphere, it came to me out of the 30s, because I don't know how they could give those parties over there like every weekend, because you can't do that over there in Firestone neighborhood. In the 30s, homie, they had a way of always being able to squeeze out a party at the last minute. Because if you pass out flyers and stuff in LA, and you let and people know that you're gonna give a party on a certain day, the Firestone or the police department gonna find out. But when I used to go in the Harlem hood, man, and I used to see the atmosphere of hood day, and that's where I first started, feeling that kind of love and everything when we used to go over there in Harlem hood.
Every day is hood day for me, homie. Every day is hood day. And you got a lot of people that expect, hood day coming, they expect certain niggas to just pay for everything and all this old man, fuck all that.
You know where I think a hood day came from too, because when you in 4800 and dudes in there talking, and dudes in there in Wayside and Biscaloo and Mariloma, and dudes be wanting to talk about some relevant issues, dude will be like, "Yeah, man, I was at y'all hood day." And he be like, "What was our hood day? Man, y'all had hood day over here, and y'all had one over here." And you be like, "Yeah, man, I was at y'all hood day." And when you in 4800, and then dudes like, "Yeah, man, that's the homie, you know what I'm saying? I know he from over here," but it be a select few from other hoods that have permission over to come to the hood day. So when your hood start coming to other hood days, that's how you get familiar with guys, and that's how you build a relationship with guys. That's how you get that love, and that's how a lot of times the East Coast and other sets became big, because hood days and being around guys that's from the hood. You just wanted to be from that. You just wanted that mentality, and you wanted that love. And then you started your hood day. Then another guy, then another one started their hood day. The next thing you know, everybody was hood. This hood day done got real big. I wish we can capitalize on it. I wish all the Bloods sold the liquor for hood days, and all the Crips sold the food. Can you just imagine if the Crips owned the grocery stores and the Bloods owned the liquor stores? Because you know Game has a liquor store in Compton, and now we got the Mexicans own the stores, and we got to buy everything from them. You know, because I'll go into these grocery stores and I see they have local products. They have products that made from that same company. And that's what we need to start doing on our hood days. We probably can go to the Bloods and get a discount on the liquor, and the Bloods can come to us on on different hood days and get discount on the food. And that's what we need to start doing. Because I already see Walmart then took Kwanzaa, Christmas, and all these other holidays. We need to start documenting these hood days. We need to start putting our money together and going to one place and get all the stuff that we need. Because I know you say have smart finals and different things like that. But now I think that I heard a guy tell me the other day that, yeah, Fish, man, the homie from 5'9", he said, yeah, Fish, I remember when you gave that party, man, and the homies were fighting over there. Homie fighting. He said, man, y'all threw the biggest party on the east side before you built your apartments in your mama's backyard. Homie, y'all threw the biggest party. Y'all was giving out Super Socko and gin, and y'all was giving out 40 ounces, homie. Y'all had bathtub full of 40s and bathtub full of Super Socko and gin. And homie, y'all did that party, man. I'm telling you, man. And it ain't never really one been like that. And these dudes written out Queen Mary and all that, but he told me, Fish, man, y'all did that, man. You Diddy Wayne, y'all threw the biggest party. I mean, niggas from all over came to that party, and the police busted up, but they didn't bust it up like they thought they was, because it was kind of like late, and then they busted up. But the party was so successful, and we did that, man. And dude was telling me the other day, I didn't forget about the party, but I didn't know how big it was until years later. People be telling me about the party.
You a part of this neighborhood, homie? Because in our neighborhood, we be like, okay, everybody pay $100. You can't pay $100 for your neighborhood, homie. Something wrong with you, man. You know, you don't need to be claiming this motherfucker. Then you worrying about, oh, well, what they gonna do with this? And motherfucker, you only gave up $100. Why are you trying to count everybody else shit? It just be petty shit, homie. But at the end of the day, homie, you know what I'm saying? The real gonna stay real, homie, no matter what. I love my hood and I love my motherfucking homeboys. But, you know, some of these motherfuckers, like in every hood, shouldn't even be around. Because, you know, some motherfuckers do be a cancer.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, we had started having a baseball game every year with the Bloods in the Fed system, and we had started having like on certain dudes' birthdays and certain stuff. We started doing it in the Feds, and I seen how it had got real successful. It had got real powerful, and certain guys just like to mess with certain guys. And you know, I have actually seen JB and a lot of these guys, man, they do a thing called West Coast Day, and a lot of the Crips from out of town or whatever, they would come and we would invite, like dudes from the Bay. I mean, dudes from different areas, like the South or the DC. But they would come as our guests, and it was successful in the Feds, and everybody be talking about the last one. And everybody was talking about the last one after that one, and everybody wanted to see, but we had guys in the Feds that had money that could have a guy cook 200-300 burritos. You had guys that can go to the store and get 40, 50 bags of chips. You had guys that can go to the store that was running a big pro game, get 200-300 sodas, 50 to 300-400 candy bars. And that's how they was doing it in the Feds. And I seen the Christian community do it. I seen a lot of the community start taking over those big days, because I remember the homies was do the West Coast. They'd be us in the Bay Area, and it was real safe. Then they even had some for the down south. The down south dudes had it. But this type of stuff, man, we need to do more of it. I see, Gangsta, he talked from his heart. I see that see a lot of times, man, can you just imagine if we be able to can you just imagine if Santana blocked the whole Santana can put $100 a month together and put it. But the thing is, what if we do get the money? Who gonna hold the money? So that's one thing about we can fight together, I notice, but we can't put our economics together. And that's one thing that I've really been working on, seeing how we can put something together and it'd be positive, it'd be a financial sound, economical sound. But if we put $100 a day, a month together, who gonna hold the money? I used to see the GDs. They always had a GD store. They always had the GD thing, and they used to pay dues. And I noticed that they always had a day from when they had Larry Hoover Day or whatever, the GD Olympics. They always had enough money. When people come there, they always had a package for them. And I noticed that in the feds, how the other races could never put their money together on us. We could never put our money together and make it work. Can you just imagine that the whole East Coast would put $5 every Sunday, or the whole Main Streets, or the whole Hoovers, or the whole 30s and all that? Can you just imagine? Because I remember back in the days, people used to have parties to pay their bills, rent, lights, stuff like that. But can you just imagine if we can just put our money together? Because the churches have a thing called tithes, and the tithes go to the church. Now we need to have a system set up for when the homies or the guys that's throwing these hood days, or the guys that's have these organizations, nonprofit, whatever, be able to put this money together and hold it and put it in a trust or put it in some kind of account. So when hood day come around, you don't have to worry about paying everybody got to get no money, because you already have money during the months.
Let's go back to Bullet. When did you meet Bullet?
See, I met Bullet, homie. I think I was like,
What year?
I'm gonna say like 75.
And he was living on Oaks Park.
He was on the other side, yeah. Then they moved on this side, right around the corner on Santa Fe. But I met Bullet up at Oaks Park.
So I think they moved to South Side at some point.
I don't know.
Okay, when they moved on this side, they was friends. Y'all was still friends.
I'm telling you, we ain't had no problem with. Every now and then a homie might have a fight or something. It ain't like, well, we was enemies with Oaks Park, homie.
No, I'm not even speaking. I'm just saying your friendship.
Oh, yeah.
So, you actually know Bullet and grew up with Bullet.
I know Bullet, but I ain't kicking with Bullet like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he is on that side. And I mainly kicked it over here with Hub, Fat Daddy, Mondo, motherfucking T-Bone, Baby Shamu, Big Shamu. We all had our own little, we had our own little Midtown crew.
So when the family moved on this side of Rosecrans, what was the atmosphere like, the friendship?
It was cool because, no, man, the homies used to be over there right around the corner, right in the apartments. The apartments is probably directly straight like this. So on Santa Fe. The homies used to be right over there kicking it all the time.
So why would Stacy feel like you guys shouldn't be part of something with Bullet?
Well, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for us, how would anybody know about Bullet? She couldn't have brought his name to the forefront. The only reason people know about Bullet is because we put Bullet out there, homie. You know what I'm saying? Bullet is a hood legend for over here, not nowhere else. See what I'm saying? Because I remember they got mad at me one time because I'm on my podcast and I'm calling out Compton Crip legends that's known outside of Compton. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said, what about Bullet? I said, nah, Bullet not a Compton Crip legend known outside of Compton. Bullet is a Santana Block Compton Crip legend. Oaks Park, Compton Crip legend. You know what I'm saying? And now that motherfuckers got, I'm like, how you gonna get mad over that? Don't nobody know Bullet. This motherfuckers right here in Compton. But listen, man, the homie Bullet, may he rest in peace, died when he was 17, man. Don't know these motherfuckers all over Compton don't know who Bullet is. Back then, only homies really probably knew who Bullet was, besides us over here, is Atlantic Drive, Southside, and Compton neighborhood. Cause we all kicked it together. We all on the east side. So all the east side, we kicked it together. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, if you go over there to the swamps, or Lantana, or motherfucking the Grandies, and be like, who is Bullet? They're gonna be like, what? Who the fuck is that? You know, so I'm just saying, we gave the homie the most honor he could ever get by naming, you know what I'm saying, naming the hood after something he wanted. You know, so I don't understand the bull. I don't understand it, though.
So basically, Bullet didn't hang out on the west side.
No, man. None of us hung out on no fucking west side. Not back then. You know, we might try to go to a party. We'll go to a party or something like that. You know, because back then, you know, all Crips, we was all together. As far as, you know, no animosity and, you know what I'm saying, and having wars against each other. That was unknown in Compton, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, admired how we held it down until the shit started fucking up. Because we was like the last motherfuckers really not to be beefing with Crips, with other Crips.